we join back in after part one. Our group had mostly spent the time relaxing, continuing to relax and a bit of bonding going on. And actually, for the lovely little bit of roleplay you all did, you can all take inspiration if you don't already hold it.
Woo!
Oh, yay.
Because I very much enjoyed those bonding moments. And in the midst of those, Aileni followed two people that Dante had good suspicions that they had been watching out for her. Upon following them, she followed them a little bit further towards an alleyway and overheard Yixan accents before accidentally making a noise and having to move away so as not to blow their cover. So we left off as Ichi was starting to get up, but they have been downstairs drinking and moving for a time. So I will flick back up to what I'll say is sort of as Dante's finishing, the door will go for Ichi knocking or whatever. So if Chris, do you want to sort of initiate when that knock happens, right? Like you guys can have the conversation you're having, but when you feel that it's coming to, that's when Ichi's gonna knock at the door. Or probably stumble in his
Fall
Don't worry,
through.
I know what's happening. I know exactly how
how
it's going to happen.
So Chris can signal it. You go. I'll say something. Go.
Do you know how long? Sorry, hang on. Do you know how?
About ages.
Do you know how far your husband will go to look for you if he finds out you're alive?
I mean, he had me killed. He had the men that I'd cooked for and fed at our table take me out and beat me to death, amongst other things. He doesn't like to be challenged. He'll have told some story to my parents and to the people who knew me. I don't think he'd want me showing up again and exposing anything.
I think that's exactly what we should do. He tried to end your world. I know what that can feel like. And Dante will reach down into his into his armor and will just pull out a cloth that's like nicely folded over, and he starts to just unfold it. Inside are two very old looking carvings of a woman and a child. These are the last remnants I have of my family.
I'm so sorry, Dante. How long? I mean, I know you're older than you look. How long since you lost them?
Time has lost meaning to me. But it has been over, or maybe it has been over 2 centuries. I've lost so much. My daughter Trixie, she gave me these. Her and her mother, mainly her mother, but she came from her. Gave me these. I was a mere traveling merchant when I left. It was the last time I would see them. I came back. He brought me back years later and allowed me to come to to just stand over their graves, to laugh in my head, knowing I couldn't have seen them. I know what all of you think
Do you?
about my anger, about my not wanting to participate in things. I'm not the most perceptive of people, and I can be single-minded, I know. But for a minute in that cave, I thought I had the chance of seeing them again. But then I knew, for that to happen, he would have to get out.
This is why we need to find a way to contain him in some other way.
This is why I need to find and to name who I've remembered every time until now.
The guy with the item.
Demetrius.
I've got it
Demetrius.
here. Demetrius. This is why I must find Demetrius, and why I am going to speak with Madame Oracle.
Be careful with her. She cannot be
God.
trusted.
She can be more trusted than the thing inside me.
And what if she tries to use it? She doesn't strike me as the kind of woman that would care who got hurt if it gave her more power.
What cost would you have to see your daughter again?
I know.
I do not have the benefit of catching any more time or seeing her grow. I cannot remember the touch of my wife or her breath on my skin. I have lived in hell for over 2 centuries. I just want peace. And I want to see them again. And one day, I will be with them sat around a warm hearth, watching my daughter get pigtails in.
You know
And
that
it's
we're
with
all
them.
going to help you as much as we can. We've committed to that. My concern before, I'm not going to say I wasn't angry. I was angry at being lumbered with somebody else's problems. But Tenebris is dangerous. He's dangerous right now. I thought I had time to deal with my husband, and these people might not even be from him, right? They could be completely unrelated.
Even if they are. This is why the one thing I can do, the one thing that is possible to still do in this time, is to reunite you with your daughter. Because that is time I do not want you to lose, like I did. And with that, Dante will take a stand and kind of just slightly look towards the door as he goes to put the chair back.
There's a sound of clattering as you can imagine someone very aggressively running upstairs, falling over the third one, clattering into a wall, picking themselves up, and continuing with still as much speed as a child on Christmas Day. As the sound of footsteps get louder and louder until suddenly a door opens, not your door. There is a moment where you hear the sound of a door go. Ichi screams out like, Dante! And then there's just this very high-pitched feminine scream. You're not who I'm looking for! Sorry! The door slams shut as suddenly then, oof, a boot kicks open your door. Ichi looks in, Dante! And just rugby tackles, like arms around this individual who has had this heartfelt moment.
Can I dodge?
Probably.
I'm gonna say so. We'll have athletics versus acrobatics.
Oh, brilliant.
I'm giving myself disadvantage just for the sheer audacity.
I like it.
A natural one.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah. So as Ichi looks at you with intensity of fear, not knowing whether or not it's you or Tenebrese, and just reactively just goes to tackle you, I step on my own shoelace and face into the ground. There is 5 seconds of silence before all you hear is as Ichi is just out cold on the floor.
Dante will just look over at Aileni and just go, "This man is my protector."
I'm gonna say maybe we should put him to bed.
Dante will just like grab him, like with the scruff of his collar, and just drag him and just throw him on the bed.
That means Volu's
Yes.
still down there, though. How late is it, Liam? Not late.
It's maybe about 7:30 at the latest right now. It's the party downstairs is dying down again, purely just due to the it has been going since about midday.
Lightweights.
Ichi doesn't drink, so yeah, a cocktail and some ale. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, and then to be fair, Volu's time in the Feywild, they are quite free flowing with the wines and the
Just
partying.
As Dante puts Ichi on the bed, there's normally when Ichi normally does their like ritual of like truth with Dante, there's normally like a circle drawn, that whole kind of like ritual. Dante kind of like puts Ichi on the bed, their eyes kind of like open for a little bit, and just with a finger, they just like kind of trace on Dante's forehead. Who are you? What is your name?
Go to bed.
Close enough.
I love it. So good. So Dante, you would easily be able to put Ichi to bed. Where would you? Are you heading to find Volu, or even Aileni? Would you think while you see Dante sort of taking him around the corner, would you?
I would probably follow into their room, and then I'd say to Dante, I am not going back into that pub looking the way I do, like me. I'm happy to stay with him, but yeah, we need to maybe let Volu know.
I will get him. And
I think
almost Butler-esque.
I'm gonna quickly though
walk out.
And then another like time remind me. I love these. I don't know why it always happens, but I'm gonna now flick back to Volu as he watched Ichi aggressively run up the stairs.
Volu would just 3 steps up and then continue.
Yeah.
Volu would just chuckle to himself, sat on his stool. He'll turn to Alara and go, Alara, you love your husband, right?
Well, he's a pain in my backside, but yeah, I suppose.
And he treats you well.
Yeah, I mean, can't complain. We've got a roof, we've got food. This place runs.
Cheers to your husband.
Okay.
And then he'll neck that down, and then he'll head to the front porch and stand and keep watch for Kanda.
As you step out, immediately to your left, sat on the edge of the porch, like legs dangling off, you would see the Furbolg still in their Furbolg form. As they wasn't a bad party at all, Volu.
Ah,
Or should I be calling you Clovis? Which one? Which one? Are you still undercover?
in more personal settings, you can call me Volu, but in public, keep it to Clovis, please.
Understood. So yes, we were. Can your fellows be trusted with everything that's going on? I mean, you know, the red-haired one is possessed by something, right? I'm not sure what, but those eyes, it's unmistakable. The other two seem
Volu,
nice enough, but
Volu in a kind of drunken state will go, is he? Oh, you can't tell, can you? It's almost as like telling that you're a Furbolg. Oh,
yes. I mean, the race, they seemed pretty useful.
they're good people, but
I suppose that's all you can ask in these days.
you said you wanted to share a bit more. I
Oh
don't
yes.
have to. I don't have to tell them straight away.
Obviously, as I said, something you've been doing helped a little. I'm not. I'm not sure what, but how specifically have you interacted with? I mean, anything weird, anything
I don't know if
creepy and corrupted, and
I don't know if you've seen. Since you've been here, have you had any visions?
no, no. But you know, I was never as gifted with visions as you are, Tanabori, even in the Fae, and we are quite a long way. And you would see the sort of the way they're waving their feet. You can tell they're sort of like imagining, similarly to the way you have of like stretching your toes in the grass outside your own home, as they're just sort of like imagining being stood in the gardens around Tanabori's building.
Yeah.
But yes, my gifts have always been, you know, look at me.
I have missed the Fae.
But yes, odd things, weird
Yes.
things.
There is something, it seems to be everywhere and nowhere. This feeling of corruption. I felt it myself. I was given thread by this young girl. I thought it was harmless. I thought a thread for. It doesn't matter how I obtained the thread, but it it took over me, and it felt like my whole energy was being sapped. That I was losing myself, and only after the thread was taken away, I started to feel safe again. But then, what was in that thread seems to be littered around Cadfesi. I don't know if it comes from here or if it's from somewhere afar, but we've managed to tackle some of it. Dante, funnily enough, the redhead one you talk about, he seems to he seems to be able to control the corruption somehow, to subside it.
How so?
His fire hits. His fire isn't necessarily from here. And whenever it's come in contact, it seems to squash the corruption.
They sort of start like they turn from their position, cross-legged, and lean in towards you. Is he fire elemental?
Can I do an insight to see intention? And
Mm-hmm.
10.
Stony gaze.
I mean, I'm not too sure, but maybe.
Bolu, this is important. Is he a fire ganassi?
No.
They look like they're like quit, like looking as deep into your own soul as they possibly can, like trying to. You are positive.
Of that, I am certain.
Ooh, well, okay. Tanabori, I think just before we found you had some dealings with those of the Brass City. They're looking at you for like again any signs that you slip up and sort of give a knowing look. You haven't you have heard of the Brass City once, but like recently enough that like
Only with my interactions with Dante have I
and
heard
in
about
passing, yeah. And,
What about when you met Tenebris fighting underneath? They met.
Yeah.
He mentioned all that.
Yeah, and that how he knew Tanabori.
mm. What I needed to tell you is that once Tanabori awoke, she began feverishly writing and talking and writing and talking and writing. She's been sending out messengers to lots and lots of people, including the leader of the Brass City. I forget his name. Something Solaris. I mean, they like such fanciful names. I can never remember them. But sending messages to everybody. This corruption, as I have had it described to me, though I have never seen it, has happened before.
In the Brass City?
Everywhere, by all accounts. It began here on the material plane. Something that a goddess did, infected the weave, corrupted something, and that effect rippled through the planes. The fire plane, the celestial plane, even the demonic planes started to shift and move in ways that, I mean, the abyss is pure chaos, but at the time it began evolving, taking on aspects of the places it was infecting. In the fire plane, it was burning, searing almost to touch on the outside, never mind on the inside. Infernos raging. The fire ganassi could not control their flames and burned out until they died. In the Fae, things started to get chaotic. It became hard to treat. We could not come up with solutions faster than it would adapt and evolve and infect someone else. I do not know all of the accounts, but I know Tanabori is contacting all of those people again. You need to be careful with the fire ganassi. Our messenger did not come back from that plane. Tanabori is worried that last time a solution that was put to the table was severing Astera from the planar loop. as the source of the corruption. They believe it might cut off the infection. Tanabori is worried that they might preempt it this time, try and do it early before they get infected. Now, frustratingly, the Fire Ganassi are also some of the few that can heal and combat the curse. Tanabori taught them some of our healing magics, and that alongside their fire allows it to burn away. Again, I've never seen this done, but from the accounts I have read, I want you to be careful about sharing this information. If it's got back to the people that do not agree, or the people that are trying to cut things off, that you are here and that you are linked to Tanabori, people do desperate things in desperate times, and times are about to get very desperate, Volu. Please do not mistake that. I have never seen Tanabori this worried.
Thank you for sharing that with me. As you know, that's quite a lot to take in. The whole conversation is kind of sobered, but a low up, kind of the fear. And when talking about disconnecting from Astera, it's almost sent a shiver and a shudder through his entire body. I will continue to be careful. I think I am in the right hands, in the right group of friends. But I do know where home is.
And last thing, Volu, and they so reach out and put something within your hands. And I'm going to say at this point that Dante, you would have come down and seen that Volu wasn't here, but Alara would have sort of, I think you went out to get some air sort of thing, and you sort of head out. The door opens, and Volu, you sort of turn, and when you look back and Dante, you look out, Volu stood alone on the porch, and the hand sort of lets go, and you feel almost like a small gust of wind pass down the street. In your hand, sort of, it's low down, so if you wanted to conceal it, you can, but also you don't have to. Is a small locket.
It won't be like something
on
like
a
that.
chain.
Dante's perception is 9.
I'm
So
more offering that if you wanted to leave his hand
I'll
open,
probably conceal it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Dante will just like, after you see him, he'll just like with his same stony face as ever. Bolu, we need to go upstairs. And we'll just turn around and start to walk back. Slowly, expecting him to follow.
Not even going to wait for me to respond, eh? And as Dante walks off, he'll kind of look into the distance and see the wind rustling round, and he'll tussle a leaf in between his hands before placing it in his pocket and holding the locket, letting out a big sigh, and then heading upstairs.
Okay, so you would all be able to coalesce upstairs. Ichi, you're slowly snoozing. Obviously, it's up to you. If you want to wake up at any point, purely leaving it in your hands, you might wake up a bit thirsty and needing a drink, and as people do. But I'm leaving it up to you if you want to.
Is this still his like hibernation technique? Because he doesn't really sleep.
Technically, you don't sleep. He just falls unconscious, which I mean, that's kind of what sleeping is, I suppose.
Yeah.
He just doesn't benefit from it.
I get 0 benefit from the being asleep. I just get all the hangover. Like,
as when Dante kind of gets in, I don't know, say like if everyone's like camping out now or what, but he starts to kind of pull out his kind of his manacles and stuff and start latching them onto himself and puts them onto strong, sturdy parts, whether it's the bed, but preferably something that's built on into the room or something like that.
Aileni would help, because she knows it's necessary. So
Okay.
Dante will kind of appreciate that. Won't say anything, but it'll give a
Yeah.
knowing kind of thank you kind of thing.
Okay. And you would all be able to be up in the room together.
when Volo arrives, I would sort of give a glance to Ichi, who's snoring in the corner, and say, I did get some interesting information from Arcaner. And I think I'll share it with you now. I can always catch up Ichi when he comes round. Apparently, there are catacombs under the chantry that may possibly link up with the mines. We're not sure, but people live down there. And Arcaner is concerned that perhaps this infection, whatever it is, could have started down there. Maybe that's where these people are coming from. Do you remember that some of the people who attacked us, they were wearing like lab coats,
The one in the mine, yeah.
apparently they belonged to the Azure Spire Academy, and they were doing research in the catacombs. So there's a worry. I mean, the High Priestess sent out lots of people all over the place to try and find out if there are any more infected. They've got information about what signs to look for. Oh, and Theo is infected. They brought him in just as I was leaving. But yeah, who knows if people are infected in the catacombs, and if it is passed on by touch, there could be hundreds, thousands.
Feel like that is a good reason for us. I'm assuming that are you in the same room as us?
Yes, yeah.
Good. Feel like that
She's
is a good
currently
reason.
tying you up, mate.
Yeah.
Tying him to bed. You both just forgot it. You both just forgot he's there. Like shit. Fuck yeah.
No, I was telling Dante as well, but
yeah.
I feel like that is a good reason for us to leave then. I was thinking of the favor. If any of us have a destination or a place we may want to go, maybe a teleport or a vehicle to get there could benefit.
The only other problem is, and I didn't tell Arcaner that you were the one who'd helped to clear the infection, but they know that something did. They can tell that some of the bodies that were brought in, the infection had been completely wiped out. And Tabitha, I mean, her testimony seems a little hazy. I think she was hallucinating by the end of it, but she also knows that somehow we cured that infection. I didn't say that it was you, Dante. I didn't go into detail, but she knows that one of us has the ability to heal.
Then more reason for us to not stay around. Sorry. More of a reason than not to stay around.
If we don't stop this infection, though, it could spread outside the city. I mean, we can't run away from it.
It might have come from somewhere else and hit the city. We cannot cure, my sword cannot cure the entire city.
No, but if we knew why your fire specifically made a difference, perhaps we could then give that information. There must be other people with similar abilities to you.
Maybe where Tenebris is from. Maybe that is the link.
We do not trust anything from that thing.
But are there other creatures that live in that place?
He is from the Brass City, the plane of fire. I have not met anybody who has the same affiliation as what I do with him.
There might be books. One of my chapters about it. One of the fortresses. Oh,
Are you okay, Ichi?
us arid Garundon don't do well with alcohol. We soak up moisture very quickly and it goes through us like lightning.
Speaking of lightning,
Ugh.
What did you drink? Volu, what did you give him?
Just a change of season.
Hey, ow. Don't laugh, it hurts. What's going on? Why are we talking about the fire plane? Don't tell me Tenebris got out.
No,
Did
no,
he
we're
get
fine.
out?
He didn't. He didn't get out. We're okay.
You look at
what do you think?
You sort of turn your head. You can see him on the other bed. Yeah.
Aha.
I tell you what, Aileni's skill at chaining up is.
I was gonna say that's a very
Yeah.
good knot. That's a very good.
I have some knowledge. So
I'm gonna not
basically,
ask any further details.
no.
I
Basically,
don't get what you guys are talking about.
I'm gonna just look at Volu, right, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, right. And then I'm gonna carry on.
We all know Volu pulls.
So I'm just very casually gonna say, so High Priest Arcanair believes there is now an infection running across the city. People are out, guards and priests, looking for people who might be infected. There is an area of catacombs underneath the Chantry Ward that apparently people live down there, and they're worried that perhaps there is infection down there because the wizards sent people down there, and they were some of the ones who attacked us during the race. So Dante was just saying we should leave quick. I was asking if there was any other kind of way that we could use the fire that he used to cure the infection. Oh, and there were two guys in here earlier on that might be trying to hunt me down and kill me, but we're not sure.
What?
And that is the main reason we should leave. So only so many things. There are only so many things in one's control. A pandemic is not one of those things.
You have a point.
I like the idea that the Volo was like nodding for most of it and then was like, wait.
Yeah, it's just like that's some knowledge just to drop on the end so casually.
I don't want to go into huge amounts of detail, but let's just say
Okay.
you all know that we all have a history, right? I have a history. I ran away because I was in danger, and those people may have found me. I'm not sure. Dante spotted a couple of people in the bar who were watching and waiting and seemed to perk up when I walked in. He caused the distraction to allow me to hide, which I was trying to do very badly up until that point, but it gave me time to use my disguise and change.
So I healed your attackers. Oh, I'm so sorry, Aileni.
No, I don't think you did.
Yes, he did.
Did he?
He just didn't. He just didn't heal him to fall. He just couldn't heal him to fall. He just gave him like a, stop him from bleeding. But
Okay.
he still basically took a metal chandelier to the head. So like.
No, but hang on. That's good. That means you saw them up close.
Bolo, give me, and then I'm gonna say flat. It's not. You're not quite drunk enough for disadvantaged, but a flat history to see what you remember.
Guidance.
I needed that. With guidance, getting the 4 is 11.
Okay.
FYI, you're the only one with guidance here.
Yeah. I'll allow you to have reminded him that once.
Yeah.
had
That's
to
why I
throw
said.
it-
That's why I said thank you, because I was like,
Yeah,
"Ah."
yeah.
I thought you were like, oh,
But no-
thanks. And not
No, it's all
expecting
good.
that it was
No, I was
Dante
like,
that's giving you it.
thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, no. So with an 11, I'm gonna say that you can't remember the other one that was stood to like up at the wall, the one that wasn't injured, right?
Hmm.
The one that was injured, and it's a bit fuzzy because you were like, straight in head. You almost like pulled his head down to look at his where he'd been hit. You did like pull his hood down. They had like medium length, scruffy blonde hair. There was sort of like you sort of pulled the head down and like looked at where they'd been hit, and then you started healing them. And then sort of like when they like looked up at you, you would guess maybe early 20s, maybe 19. That's what like 19, 20, 21 range. Definitely a human. Fairly skinny. Not like starving skinny, but like maybe skips a meal in between or two, right? And other than that, though, just so you were mainly focused on the actual healing of
He
them.
got his name and where they staying, didn't he? Or was it just his name?
He did give he gave a name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave our name. Didn't give me where he was staying though. I don't believe.
Oh, I couldn't remember.
Um,
But I
I'm-
would have noticed the blonde hair. He a fairly skinny guy, quite young. Seemed fairly innocent.
Okay. I mean, it's such a vague description. I'm not even going to attempt to say, do I recognize anyone like that? Because that's just.
yeah. What you would note from it, Aileni, is if they are that age, they weren't like in the main group
No,
back then.
no, he's too young.
So he's too young to have been one of the main guys,
Yeah,
and probably too young to if they met you, they met you as a child, and it won't have been and that a lot of that stuff was kept away, obviously, until you stumbled upon it. So you weren't really introduced to like the younger gang members that were being
Yeah.
brought in, because that was the hush hushy secret a bit.
Yeah.
So you don't think they would have seen you back then, so they're probably functioning off pictures or paintings.
I am going to say, did the other one look about the same age? I know you said you didn't catch a good look, but
I'm gonna say, Dante, you can drop me a history to see if you picked it up, but Volu definitely didn't. He was purely focused on that. I'm gonna say,
definitely.
Yeah, what are we on?
Rolled a 19 and my history's +6, so 25.
wow.
Okay, nice. Yeah, so obviously you were staring at them, so you caught a glimpse of the other guy as he stepped up to the wall. Not enough to pick out details past the hood and such, but very similar height, very similar build.
Okay.
From
Okay.
my vantage point, they looked similar size and stature.
So I was married and my husband, I'm going to say, let's imagine he's like a Madam Oracle. He's not a very nice man. He has a lot of people who work for him and they do not very nice things. And I found out and have been on the run ever since. I didn't think
And
they'd find me here. I was from Yixon, and so I thought I was safer. He has a lot of money. He has a lot of power. If he finds out that I'm alive, that wouldn't be good. And if they think I'm here, I think we're okay tonight. I don't think they saw me come back in. I don't think they know that I'm definitely here, but I'd like to find somewhere different to stay tomorrow.
Just-
I understand.
Just throwing it out there, because obviously Dante knows the story.
Mm.
Anything that Aileni is saying or leaving out or anything, Dante is just going to close his eyes and just, can't exactly walk anywhere. So he's going to lie on the bed and just give, like, there's no reaction to anything that she says. So nobody can really kind of like read into her story.
Focusing on keeping.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am also going to say, look, I know that we're pretty much a team now, and I know that you would help me the way I help you, but I'm not expecting that. And I feel that some of the other things that are going on, this infection, the problems with Astera, whatever that is, whatever's inside Dante, I feel like they're more important. But I think I've maybe stayed in one place for too long.
What is inside me will remain. I think moving to a further place would be a good idea.
We can help for the short term, but we all have our missions.
We do.
Mine, I'd like to learn more, Dante, if you will, about where Tenebris is from, because I think that may help the Astera. I think this corruption is.
There's a physical, like, now he's kind of like that reaction. He's reacted to that, and his initial, I think, from what you see, is annoyance and slight anger at the request of that. He hasn't said anything though.
Not of what Tenebris is, just I'd like to learn a little bit more about this brass city.
Do you think they might have? Do you think they might have information in the scriptorium or in the Azure Spire?
Potentially, and that's where I wanted to go to help Dante. So it seems that those paths are aligned.
Dante will kind of wondering how well we'll try to divert this conversation and look over to each and go, "You have someone from your order, you said, who could help."
Yes, Sir Arthur should be back the day after tomorrow, I believe. They may have information about the Brass City. I never had full access to a vast library that other sections of my order have, just because our section was smaller. But he should be able to offer some assistance and knowledge.
We can keep ourselves quiet as much as a ward celebration is going to be with us. We can spend a couple days here and then get out of the city. Keep ourselves low. I need to see Madam Oracle. We can speak with.
We all need to see Madam Oracle, and we need to collect our winnings.
We can speak with Sir Artichoke.
Do we? Forgive me for asking this, Ichi, but do you trust Sir Arthur? I know you said he's of your order, but I'm not sure that we should tell anybody about Dante. They could decide that actually the best way to deal with this creature is actually to kill Dante without any understanding of what that might
That's not how my order works, though. We try to find the best solution for all parties involved. If that is a solution at the end, but it's always a last resort. I don't know Sir Arthur, so I cannot say that I trust him, but I trust my order. I trust how I was trained.
Then I trust you.
My life is in Ishi's hands. Or Petals.
I haven't told Arcana Ichi about Dante, but she knows that one of us healed. She knows that there's something. Yeah. So collect our winnings. What are we going to ask for a favor? Do we ask for a quick exit, or do we ask for access to information?
I say we should wait to find out what Artichoke can tell us.
You all have time.
Yes.
Oh, is
See
it
the-
on the? Do we say it on the day?
Well,
He turns up.
it's definitely. I think it's going to be maybe a persuasion to not be able, because they want to announce it, right? It wants to be like done with hands over.
Presentation.
They don't want you holding a favor over them. And also, technically, once he hands over the
Power,
power, he's no longer. So it's purely up to you, and definitely, I'm not.
And we've
gonna say
already
it's out-
asked for Adam.
I'm not gonna. And I'm not gonna say it's outside of the realms, because nothing is. You can always try. But you thinking about it, you know it might be a bit of an ask, and you might be pushing your luck a little, but you know sometimes that's worth it.
I think the two ideas that I have, because I think we should try to make sure we get an exit. It's either one, teleport to a different region, whether it is to your home, Ichi, or whether it is elsewhere. And he won't look at anyone when he says that. I think that would be a good suggestion. Or this place has lots of cigar crystals.
Sharp, tangy.
Actually, here's a good question. Before I even say this, are there airships in this world?
There are, but they are very rare. They're not like a highly trusted form of.
Highly trusted, not necessarily neat.
The Yixon and such tend to favor ships, and over here they've pretty much dug straight into the Zikar stuff. It's not outside the realms. What I will say is, Ichi's here. You know, you've never had one, but you know that some of the elders did have rather, you don't use the teleporter once. You sometimes get access. So like your elder would have access to teleport to the nearest for when they were called for political things. But also you know that they did use them, because as long as you're a trusted person, essentially. So as well as that's a potential. And obviously you could very well ask for a Zikar Aether vehicle of your own if you wanted it.
Well, we should ask for the Chaotic Ember mobile back.
Or what we do is we throw a curveball at them and we turn around and go, we want the best cinder smoke engine you have.
Oh,
I know we won in this.
Thaddeus would be gutted. That would be
my
mean.
vehicle won.
Thaddeus didn't care about the cinder smoke.
No, I know, but can you imagine? It's like we've just shown everybody how amazing his vehicle is, and then we choose something else.
To be fair, you ask for the cinder smoke and take it to Thaddeus and have him put it in the.
I'm still not sure having a cinder smoke engine anywhere near Dante.
It's like
probably
more
not
like
a
the
good idea.
hybrid engines like we have, just being like with best of both worlds, the safety of this, but the explosion of that. Basically giving R1 nitros, basically.
Yeah, those are my two thoughts, unless somebody else has better options.
What?
Obviously, I will say on Volu's thing, he mentioned it last week, but he knows that you guys know there is restricted access information as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, what was it that we were going to get from Madame Oracle? I know that part of it was us paying off that debt, the debt that wasn't a debt, but part of it was that. But she sort of hinted that we could earn more money or something by helping her, and we did do both of the things that she asked for.
We actually went extra. She's got the car and the person.
Maybe we could ask for a teleport and advice about how to see some restricted information?
Or like the one thing that I'll be asking for is to meet up, to have the details to meet Demetrius.
Okay.
That is my only goal with her. Any other asks will come after.
Do we have any
And that's
idea?
a stern look.
Yeah. Do we have any idea where we would go?
Dante will look between Ichi and then Aileni.
Depending on conversation, if we're asking for access to transportation, we could always ask for that as the gift and then choose our destination after we've spoken with Sir Arthur.
True.
True.
So then we'll know if the information Sir Arthur gives us, if we need to head to his his section of my order, or if we go elsewhere. Maybe the information he gives us will be enough that we need to step into the right direction. I honestly don't know.
Okay.
I think it's
Liam, sorry to interrupt quickly. Iris Knights and the Order of the Watchers, are they global? Like, are they, or at least were they?
They, I think at the height, the heights of it would have been, but not in a long time.
No.
Can you put us back on the main map as well, Liam? Just the
Yeah,
world
can
map,
do.
so I can have a look.
Because we've got the Holy Island that those guys were heading to.
Yeah, because bear in mind, Ichi and I were always just going through. This was just a
stop
passing
off.
stop. This was
Yeah.
we came
some cash.
We came here to do a job, which went south, so we had to do another job, which we've just done.
Yeah.
And now we should be fucking off because that was always the original plan.
Where was our main destination?
So it's this one, is it that one up there?
Yeah,
I thought it was
first
Helig's
Sacred
Landing.
Isle.
Yeah, I thought the idea was Helig's Landing gets us across to. Because wasn't this where the prophet had landed, kind of thing? Damn, I didn't mean to actually draw on there. Then
yeah. Helig's Landing is the place where the Andonite prophets first landed and began spreading the word of Astera.
I've just realised, Liam, as well. Aileni is from Andon, not from Yixon, but I know they're right next to each other.
It's the mix is that obviously now Andon is a subjugate of the Yixon. And you would have been there around the time they were shifting and taking over.
Yeah, that's fine. So
remind me, Liam, Ichi's order with Bruth was that was near Helig's Landing, wasn't it? That was where we.
Yeah, there is a fort. He has because originally I know again.
I met him.
Originally, we set up in the Sacred Isle.
Yeah.
And I was going to talk to you. To be fair, do you want? It's up to you whether we're keeping it. Is that the actual fort is in Sacred Isle, so you need to go via Helig's Landing, because you need to go there to get a boat, because that is the only real way to get a ship over.
I want an airship.
We've got the rusty bucket. What more do you want?
And what I will let you know generally, obviously, once you have access to the teleporters, that is there is a specific network set up in Vercel, but you can, if you learn a circle, target a different place. You don't have to go through their known chain, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
It's more just if you're going to the other major city, they're like, okay, plug it in the next major city over. Or if you start to learn them and pick them up, etc. Because, and again, each of you will know that at the very height of it, some of the largest forts of the Iris Knights and Watchers did have teleport circles. But it means you could learn more of them if you come across them.
Yeah.
Or if you want to just go for the completely, wild bet thing, go for the place that definitely does not say Osgiliath down the bottom.
Olga's live.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Play it back. Play it back.
I spent so much time coming up with these fucking names.
I know. It's
Well,
part-
How-
They've got
how
an
to-
etymology and everything.
How
do,
to crush
yeah.
a man in one moment.
Yeah. But
I
yeah,
have
so-
I have a reason to go to Augustliv, but that was one of the two places where the trees were located.
Mm.
I mean, sort of.
But
Yeah.
mine's not crucial in that sense. I'm trying to just fix what's going on more than anything.
The only other thought that I thought maybe Volu might be pondering in terms of finding out about Astera, it's been mentioned a few times now that the nearest, like the reason the Sacred Isle is because it's like at a font where it like almost you can be the closest to the energy of Astera. And obviously High Priest Arcaner did say if you wanted to learn more, and they would obviously have historic knowledge. So that is also a place, if you didn't ask for information here, you maybe could go get it from, and as a cleric, you would have access. Do you know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
It's up to you. Just letting you know as you're pondering things, what might be available.
Is there, and again, if you don't ask, you don't get. Can we ask for a boat that we can shrink to any size? Or like, capture it, have a magic boat that changes size. Big
Yeah.
or like small.
No.
Yeah, that feels like something that they would struggle to get for like wartime, let alone for just a bunch of people who want a race.
The thing with those is because I've thought about how you make those, and it's carts are hard enough because of the number of times you would have to cast it. You have to shrink it and shrink it and shrink it and shrink it. Like by the actual spell, it half size. That's not enough. You know what I mean? Like a ship at half size. Okay, it's a smaller ship. And then we half size again.
It's kind of like a banishment spell, but into a Pokeball. So you create the pocket dimension and you're banishing it there. And then this is how you release it.
You just need a really, really huge bag of holding.
Yeah. You just drive the ship in and bore it inside the bag of holding. I mean, there's a lot of potential with playing our stuff.
I was going to say, that's just a warehouse at this point, though. It's got to be able to fit a bloody ship in it.
God.
But yes, there are obviously, regardless of how you decide or where you decide to go afterwards, teleporting obviously would cut out the majority of the travel across Versa.
So just like in every open world game, the moment you can quick travel or fly a broom or whatever, you end up missing all the little things that happen in the middle.
Yeah, you really do.
Always.
I'm just giving us all these different options.
I mean, and again, you do know having a fifth stream vehicle is a very, very stable way to travel because it goes across most terrains.
We could make it watertight.
I almost feel like you could probably ask Thaddeus for it. You know what I mean? Like
that's kind of what I thought as well. Just be like, dude, this cart's been pretty banged up. Do you mind if so we just have it?
So in which case, maybe you ask for information as your favour. You do whatever in terms of Demetrius from Madam Oracle, and you ask Thaddeus if you can have the actual chaotic ember vehicle.
I mean, it was damaged, but it wasn't on its last legs, was it? I mean, it was.
Oh no,
No.
we
It didn't
had
take
about
that
half
much
health.
damage.
No, it
We
is
had
but
about
a
half health.
scratch.
I was keeping track of the thing. We took more damage than I thought, but yeah, it was still about half.
Right. So it's
Yeah.
fixable.
So it would still need maybe a few days to fix.
As we're all pondering this, Bolu is feeling the effects of the alcohol more and more, and be like, "It's been a long day.
It has.
We've won a race. We've learnt a lot. We've drank a lot. Look at Ichi. Let's go to bed."
Yeah, he looks a mess.
Give a
I
little
can't argue with
slap
that.
to Dante on the way out. Give him a little slap on the leg as I walk past him, going, "Oh, you."
Okay, you will all.
I would say goodnight to Ichi, and as I leave, I would just sort of place a hand possibly on Dante's foot. Just I wouldn't even look at him, but just almost like it's like a thank you. And then I would head across to our room and start and use my last spell slot to set up alarm.
Yeah, and as you set up alarm and head to bed, and can all check off a long rest.
Finally,
Yay!
Wake.
it
You
feels
will-
like so long.
You
been a
get
long
to
day.
I
sleep.
mean, it has. It's been like 6
It's
sessions
been a
since
long.
we've
It's
had
been a
a.
long day. Yeah, it genuinely has.
Really long day.
You drift off each into sleep, and will be ready for tomorrow when you can accept your reward. And that is where we are going to call the end of session 2, part 2.
I was so ready
part
for him to pick on someone for like.
Dante.
He lets me sleep. He
Yeah.
lets me sleep.
Don't get used to it.
Yeah, don't. It's about
Yeah.
to go nuts. Thank you very much for watching. As always, thank you very much for playing. If you are looking forward to finding out what is going to happen as our group are on the edge of what seems like some large events, hit the like and subscribe and the notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out. And as always, roll well. Bye.